Rolling with Nat 20. I'm Nat 20, and today we're back with more Keeper RL, and I have regrets. For you see this keep save files no, you want that to be a yes. If it's no, the game treats the game with permadeath and deletes your save file upon load. But being an alpha build, sometimes there are little bugs, hiccups, glitches, whatever you want to call them, that will delete your game. I tried to record this episode previously, and we ended up getting a bit of a bug that crashed the game, and when I tried to reload the file, it was gone. So we're going to have to create a new file. But that's okay, because before that happened, I found that the amount of creatures I had was way too many. We could not afford them, and they were quickly abandoning our cause, taking naps, and basically doing everything they could to get me killed. So we were not in the best of situations, and I have plans to remedy that this time around. So again, we're going to possess our keeper, take a quick look around, see what there is to see. Looks like up north, there's not really too much going on. There's a bridge over here. This river will provide pretty decent protection. We can see this bridge is happening over here. It's a rope bridge. I wonder... Bridges and the river are a new mechanic in this build, so I'm wondering what we can do with this. I wonder if we can actually build out over here at all. At least we can funnel enemies through that bridge. So I think we'll start off... Actually, I kind of want... We'll start off in this general area, but I do want to look up a little bit further north and see what we have going on. Just a tad to the north. Not a whole lot. More river. So this seems like an excellent place for us to begin building out our dungeon. So I will be back in one moment once I have that all planned out. Okay. We've designated out what we're going to build. I'll summon out my imps to 10 like I like to do. Have our training area, what we will eventually make our dorms, but will not expand too quickly. Our storage area, forge and lab area, beast lair, library, which we will also not expand too quickly. We're also going to need to gather out some of these resources out here, so I can start the process for that. Iron is going to be more important this time around than gold, but gold will still be important because we're probably going to want a few creatures that will help us out that cost money. But primarily the goal of this dungeon is going to be to cost as little as possible, because that was a big flaw of our previous dungeon. It cost too much. By day 2, we were out of all of the natural money that I could find on the map, and we needed to start some wars. And because our people were kind of sick of us not paying them, we probably weren't going to win those wars. So we're going to have to be a little smarter this time. And I'm building this out a little thicker because I think that that will cause them to dig it quicker so that they don't have to wait in line for each other. I may be wrong. Alright, let's designate these areas. We're going to need storage first. Storage is most important. So without storage, there is no other areas. And after storage, we're going to designate library. And we're actually going to start off with a beast lair this time, so we can get some free creatures going right away. And with that, we're probably going to need more wood even than we cut. Not turn out here into a beast lair, gather more wood. We have given our imps quite a bit to do. Quite a bit. So I do have noticed that this map seems to have quite a bit more surprises that are going to be near us that we're probably going to find without having to search too hard. So that is exciting. I'm excited to get to those surprises. A raven joined. Now normally once a raven joined, if it's daylight, I would use them to explore the area. But the game crash seems to be happening when I start exploring the area. And I'm actually going to save just to make sure that any sort of crashes don't stop our game that we just have a slight hiccup. Okay, so we're back. We need to build that library, so hopefully our imps can go out and start doing that pretty quick. Seems that they chose to build out the beast layer first. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Although a library would be a little more helpful because it will allow us to start getting mana, and we can start getting bigger and better things. I was careful not to expand this way because I didn't know exactly how this river played out. In fact, I'm going to explore out the river with a flying creature and really hope that the game just doesn't crash, because I really do need to know how far north I can build this out without touching the water. And since we do live near water, maybe we'll even start exploring kraken breeding and how that all works. This goes pretty deep into a dark area. Interesting. Alright, we'll just abandon our raven there. They'll find their own way out. So we can actually expand this north somewhat. We are going to need to cut more trees. In this plan that I have to have a dungeon that is going to function much cheaper than the previous dungeon, we are going to expand slower, both in research and in our dungeon, but our expansions are going to require a lot more trees. Now I don't know if that size library is really going to fit the bill for us. The increase that we're getting in mana is pretty small. We're also going to play it a little bit safer, and we're going to do things like build a door really early on. That way we have at least that small layer of defense outside of our dungeon, as well as an eyeball out there to make sure that there's something constantly watching out there and nothing can ever sneak up on us completely. Which is important because it looks like we are actually really, really close to one of the major towns. But that can also be a good thing, because we can go fight them and take their resources easily. Unfortunately, my wolf just died exploring out there, and my ravens will probably do the same in the near future. Knowing this, let's start expanding this out so that we can get some more beastly creatures, since a lot of the early level beastly creatures like ravens and wolves aren't very powerful and are mostly there for exploration and spying. And it only costs wood and monster space, which I've never come anywhere close to getting to that 40 mark. The most I've ever had at one point was like 25, and then I won the game. So I'm not worried about that in the least. What I am worried about is not getting enough mana quickly enough. We are going to want mana because we are going to go the route of ritual rooms, which will allow us to get demonic creatures as opposed to fantasy goblins, orcs, and that sort of creature. And with that, we will have we will have monsters that can both fight as well as don't cost a bunch of money each turn. So if you see, we have 10 ravens, and it doesn't cost us a thing. Ravens don't cost money. They're also exploring the map for us, and the game's not crashing, which is super handy. We also found a little bit of water next to our area, which I think we will also use to explore kraken breeding a little bit later on. I almost forgot to lay out all my torches. I might as well do that now. I'll just put them all over in every room since they're free, and they make things look nice and bright and happy. Not exactly what you want in a dungeon, but sort of what I want when I'm trying to figure out what's happening, where things are. I don't want it to be too dark for me to figure out what's going on. They're still digging out that. We are almost out of wood, so we're going to have to collect more wood. Oop. More wood! A bunch of ravens. And we can build out our library more. Though I don't want to expand our the reason I don't want to expand our library too much is because if we have a huge library, then when we do get around to building a dormitory, pretty much the only creature we're going to be getting is the shamans. That is assuming that we're also going to be building a lab, which we are by the time that we get to that point. And while shamans are pretty helpful, they're not the best fighters, and when we get to the point where we want to pay off our creatures to help us out, we're going to want creatures that can fight. So I'm going to get archery, which may or may not have been a silly idea, because I don't have any way of creating weapons. So I think we will start to plan out just what we're going to do for building everything. And as seeing as I don't want to expand my library out this way, and I like to have my treasure room behind my keeper, I'm going to turn this area right down here into a treasure room. In fact, I don't see any good reason why we can't blow out this wall right here and expand the treasure room into there. You can make a pretty sizable treasure room. Again, it only takes wood. And for no other reason than to be able to see in there easier, we're going to put torches. I misclicked and I put the torch a little askew, but that's okay, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if we need to expand out our beast layer anymore, but it doesn't seem that much is happening in the way of our beast layer. It is a little worrisome, so I think I will expand it out a little bit more, again, because all it takes is wood. I don't really see a negative to expanding out our beast layer because of that. Just like I don't really see much of a negative of expanding out our library a little bit more. Now I'm not sure what causes the difference between wolves and ravens showing up. I think it might just be random so long as you have beast layer room. But the wolves are ever so slightly more powerful. They have an attack of 32. Well, I guess they're a lot more powerful. But they're ever so slightly more useful, as the wolves will generally go out and get super murdered by whatever they find anyway. The map is actually being explored pretty thoroughly by our beasts. I'm rather impressed. In previous builds, the auto-spying mechanics of our beasts wasn't super useful, which is why I didn't end up using it too much. But it seems like it's actually a viable and helpful way of exploring the map. Now that I said that, I would like to take a moment and save the game, just in case anything bad happens, because it's usually right around when I think the game hasn't crashed in a long time, the game tends to crash. Now we're not going to have any dormitories, so we're not going to see anybody showing up from doing this, but I do want to build a small forge for when we do get to the point where we're going to be building equipment. And as you see, a wolf was killed by a knight. Now a knight's probably a relatively powerful creature, but the wolf didn't last much of a chance against it. A lot of what we're doing over here is just throwing enemies at this town and exploring it out a little bit. Actually, I kind of appreciate that. I will give the life of many of wolves and many of ravens to explore what's going on in this area. We will know where everything is before we begin conquest, in the hopes that we don't get conquested first. And with that, I'm going to grab basic sorcery so that our keeper has some tools of defending himself if bad things happen. In fact, I could be wrong. The size of your library may have absolutely nothing to do with how much mana you gain, but I feel like having a larger library increases the amount of mana I gain, and thus I expand the library because of that. I suppose I could be completely wrong, but if I am, at least we have a big, styling library. A raven is killed by a peasant. A raven is killed by an elf child. These ravens are starting to get ballsy, I guess, and getting all up in enemies' businesses. But as our ravens die, we just get more ravens. It is a vicious cycle, but it is one that works. Now I'm a little nervous about building any sort of thing that's going to cost us money, but I think if we do it slowly, ever so slowly, we should be okay. Now with a dorm and a forge, the only creatures we should be able to get are goblins. Now I'm not sure if we even built our dorm out big enough to get a single goblin. It might require a 3x3 making a 9 space. I'm actually going to sit at that 2 for a little bit and just see, because I'm not sure. And I want to see if a goblin will show up. But I'm not going to wait too terribly long, as the slaughter of all of my creatures over here is a little upsetting. But they are getting to know the area pretty well, figuring out where the treasure rooms are. I think that we are safe to expand and start building at least a little bit. I want to at least get our keeper outfitted and have the option of outfitting any of our creatures that we get from rituals. I do suppose a 4x4 might be the necessary size, but I think a 3x3 should suffice. Well, I can always destroy my dormitory, I suppose, if it is too big, because we are absolutely going to need some goblins. And at this point, struggling to get them to show up. Oh well, in the meantime, we have too many imps sitting around and doing nothing, so we're going to start mining out more of this area. And I will use my shift button now to make this process a little quicker. Ooh. Killing enemies at night gives more mana. Good to know if I ever want to do an assault. Maybe I'll do it at night. And there we have it, a crash. Well, our last save wasn't too terribly long ago, so I will bring that up, I suppose. One moment. And we're back. I think we might be a little bit earlier in the night, and we have lost out on a little bit of the mapping that we had done previously, but we're basically back to where we were. I've designated digging out a bunch of this, which my imps will get to once they've cleared out more of this forest. And we might even find out what some of these surprises are. Oh, I do suppose that I need to relearn sorcery. I'd like to think that the size of the library has something to do with how quickly we're getting our mana. I really don't know. I do know it seems that this 3x3 dormitory is not sufficient, so we're going to up it to a 4x4 and leave it there. And we should get at least one goblin. Somebody who can start making us equipment. Come on, Gobby. Well, I suppose it's a long shot, but one of these surprises might be a bunch of goblins that are going to come and help us out. I have seen a bunch of orcs be one of the pockets. Surprise! You get 5 orcs. I hope you can afford them. Usually you can. They're not too expensive. And it seems like my creatures mostly keep coming up over here and dying. Although I do see Raven is killed by a lizard man, which means down here we have the lizard man tribe. Might be a little hard to explore past that, because I think the lizard men are going to actively kill out all of my beastly creatures that go and try to spy out their area. And I do still worry how the dragon is going to come into all of this. I mean, the dragon could easily come in and wreck everything that I'm building right now. Now why am I not getting a goblin? Do I need a larger forge? I don't want to make it too much larger because I don't want a flood of goblins. I just want one goblin. Maybe two. Oh, I saw a raven joins your forces. I was hoping that was a goblin. Well, maybe I have to get some sort of... Maybe I have to get iron working before goblins will start showing up. Maybe I'm not far down the tech tree enough. Well, I don't think we can spend too much more time focusing on how to get a goblin. I think we need to definitely get some creatures in here that can defend us. So we're going to start building our ritual room. We're going to do so right over here. We'll expand this out to there for now. Again, even though they're not important for room efficiency, torches for ambience. A goat is killed by a wolf. Hooray, we are being attacked by bandits. Not good. Not good at all. Wolves. Wolves. Why does wolf has archery? That doesn't make sense. Okay, wolf. Please get back to my town because we are being attacked by bandits. And I could really use your help. Oh, I could really use your help on the bandits. The creeper is in trouble. The bandits have made it in. Oh no. The bandits have made it in. Nothing is defending us. Everything is going to shit. I don't have very many spells. Oh, this could be bad. Let's go. Let's see what we got. We're going to have to summon some insects. Back up for a sec so that we can deception. Get in there and hopefully... Nope. Oh, jeez. We may just have to run away. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Run away. I will live. Save me, Wolfie. No, I meant that. Save me, Wolfie. Get him. Get. No, don't throw yourself back into danger, Keeper. Okay, looks like a wolf is all it took to kill those bandits. And we are safe. The bandits destroyed some of my library, like dicks. All my imps survived, which is a bit of a surprise. We can rebuild the library pretty easily. Oh, looks like they were already in the process of rebuilding the library. Sounds good. With all those deaths, we actually have enough mana to build out a little bit of a ritual room. Ooh, we even got a scroll of teleport, some leather armor. I'm not sure if our keeper's picking up all this on his own. He's got a sword. He's got a robe. I don't know why he doesn't want that scroll. I want him to have that scroll more than anybody. I want him to be able to teleport away in a bad situation. Take that scroll of teleport, please. Okay, now do whatever you want. No, don't just leave it there. Yep, damn it. Fine. Fine, I guess we can't make him have it. Whatever, go in there and do your studying then. We'll build out a bigger ritual room as soon as we possibly can and hopefully get some creatures in here like the wolves that can defend us. But I think this episode is starting to get a little long. I'm glad that we were able to have a bandit attack and something interesting happen. I'm going to end it here, save up, and make sure that it's going to be okay for the next episode. I'm Nat20, you've been rolling with Nat20, and I will see you later.